Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be diving into some more r/Am I the Asshole to find out if these OPs are or are not the asshole. Let's go. Am I the asshole? Sister flirting with my husband. Our family constantly stays with my sister when we go to the big city for a concert. This past time, I felt like the third wheel. My sister has been married for over 15 years. She doesn't work, she stays at home and takes care of the household. Her husband is great. My husband doesn't keep a consistent work schedule. They are both 46, I'm 43 female. Her and her husband hosted us this past weekend ahead of a show. The entire time I felt like a third wheel while she and my husband, we've been together for 12 years, shot the shit. I was present for most of the conversation and I just felt like the third wheel. At one point she tickled my husband. What? At one point she tickled my husband. I gave her a look, which she acknowledged as "you looked at me like I was the other woman." She assured me she thought he was gross and that it wasn't like that. We got into a fight before I took her to brunch because I wanted to double check the address. She asked me if I was a... What? She asked me if I was a retard with my autistic son in the back seat. What the hell? And called me dumb. She even went as far as saying she would take them herself and leave me behind. My husband declined. TLDR, her and my husband had a great conversation with my sister while I sat aside trying to put my thoughts into them, but basically got shot down. She asked me what was wrong and I was honest. Now she says she needs time. Man, what a weird story. Definitely short, and we definitely need some more insight to what the relationship dynamics really are, because it just sounds weird. Like the first part of the story, okay, there's nothing wrong with her and your husband having like so much in common that they can just, banter for hours or whatever. Because for your sister, that's her brother-in-law, so you would expect or you would hope that they would get along, and it definitely sounds like they are. And the thing where she tickled him or whatever, I don't really see a problem with that either. It's just like playful banter. I mean, I can see if you're like a really jealous person or something like that, but it just seems kind of innocent. And again, this story is so short, I feel like we need some other instances maybe or something like that. Honestly, it just sounds like you're overreacting a little bit. But then again, like I said, we don't have a lot of info to go on. So yeah, I don't know. My thoughts are we need more info, because this little story here, it just seems like you're kind of a jealous person and you're kind of reading into things a little bit too much. The only thing I found weird about this story is the ending part where she called you stupid just for asking about the directions. And she had to say that with your autistic son in the back seat. That's the part of the story where I'm like, okay, tone it down a little bit, sister, right? Not the asshole. If my sister tickled my husband, that would be too weird. I was thinking you were being ridiculous up to that point. Okay, you were being ridiculous up to that point. After that, her getting defensive and then insulting is a problem. Sounds like all parties need a break from each other. How to stay married 101. Never touch anyone at work while at work. Other than handshakes, never touch family or friends other than hello, goodbye, hug, and air kiss.
Okay.
Alright, well, after reading the comments, everyone's pretty much saying you're not the asshole. Which I don't think you're an asshole, but I just think you're jumping to conclusions. Honestly, for me, you're just coming off like a jealous person. Now, I could be totally wrong about that. I could be reading the situation completely wrong. Again, this is such a very short story and we have no updates, so this is just what I feel. Am I the asshole for breaking up with my boyfriend, male 33, over an unfunny prank? Okay, so I, female 33, dated John, 33 male, about 8 years ago, so we were 25-ish. It was almost a year-long relationship, 10 months or so. A week ago was the first time I've seen John since, because we were both at a friend's party who was celebrating that friend becoming a father. John got super drunk and decided to tell anyone who would listen the story of how we broke up. After hearing it, mostly men were telling me I completely overreacted. Here's the story that started our breakup. John was staying at my place that night. I woke up and it was Saturday morning. I went downstairs to make a coffee. I heard him having a shower upstairs and he came down dressed and ready to go to work. I figured out he got confused and thought it was a work day. I didn't say anything until he was putting his shoes on. I was repeatedly asking him, "So what day is it?" Until he got a bit mad, looked at his smartwatch and saw it was Saturday. He was quite mad at me and said it was a bad prank and he will pay me back. The next day we were apart and he texted me, "We need to talk. I'm so sorry. I got another girl pregnant." To which I replied something along the lines of, "If this is your attempt at a payback prank, consider it failed." After that, John doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down on it. He swore to everything he holds dear that it was true and even sent me a clearly fake ultrasound picture. I kept telling him, dude, I don't believe you. Stop, you're making this incredibly weird. He did not back down. After a full day of convincing me in vain, I was so weirded out that I told him, well, okay, if you're having a baby with a mystery lady, then we need to break up. And he was like, ha ha ha, my prank worked. Boom, pranked. After this incident, I was too weirded out by him. We broke up a few days later with him being completely unwilling to acknowledge that he took it too far and framing it as, I just needed some more convincing to fall for it. 8 years later, he was clearly still hurt about it because he was telling everyone and basically doing a poll on who was wrong. Some people were coming up to me and telling me it was just a joke, so am I the asshole for breaking up with a guy over a bad prank? It's like, it's not so much that it was a bad prank, it's just so, like, unfunny. Like, the fact that you called him out so early on it and you're like, hey, I know what you're doing, you're not gonna fool me. The fact that he, like, quadrupled down on it or whatever, it's just so, like, it's sad, man. It's just sad. The fact that he was willing to take it so far until you finally just gave in and you're like, I'll humor you. Okay, yeah, okay. If you got somebody else pregnant, then we can't be together. And then he just jumps around and says, fucking got you. Like, honestly, cannot see how anyone would be, like, on his side. I mean, I guess these are, like, his friends, right? So they would kind of see his side of it or trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But, like, I don't see how, like, anyone would look at him in a positive light for doing this. If a bunch of 30-year-olds still think that that's an okay prank or just a joke, then you need to move on from these friends, not the asshole. This was my conclusion after that meetup, and only I came back to where we used to live to celebrate with old friends, who are clearly not the people I any longer want in my life. That's another thing I was thinking too, because you guys are in your mid-30s. Like, who would think this type of prank is funny? Like, oh, I cheated on my significant other and I got another person pregnant. I'm the fucking jokester, baby.
Well, I'm the joker, baby.
So I'm so glad that you decided to distance yourself from this friend group, because honestly, I would do the exact same thing. Am I the asshole for not letting my kids swim in my in-laws' pool? We spent the weekend at my in-laws' cottage. 2 weeks earlier, they filled their kiddie pool with lake water for my nieces and nephews. Between Tuesday and Saturday when we arrived, the pool sat uncovered with the filter turned off. My father-in-law had added chlorine on Tuesday and didn't run the filter or add any more chlorine before we got there. My kids are all under 5 and they're in the phase where they swallow pool water and dunk their heads underwater. Because I wasn't confident about the water quality after it had been sitting stagnant for several days, I told them that they couldn't swim. It was green and very cloudy. My in-laws were pretty offended. They brought it up multiple times over the weekend. I wasn't accusing them of being careless. I was just uncomfortable with my young kids swimming in water that had been sitting for several days without filtration and chlorine, especially knowing they'd probably drink it. See pool here. Okay, we get a pool image. Here we go. Oh no, I would not only would I not let my kids swim in there, I would not swim in there either. Have y'all seen the videos of like stagnant water that people find in like abandoned places? The amount of bacteria in there that just grows and festers, like, no doubt you're gonna get sick if you swim in this water. Also, you said in the story they filled it up with lake water. Why don't they just go swim in the lake? Not the asshole, I opened up that pic and went, oh, gross, out loud in real life. I wouldn't let a dog swim in that pool, let alone a child, absolutely not. If your in-laws are offended, that's their problem. Your first priority is your children's health and safety, not their fragile egos. Maybe this will be their wake-up call to either take care of the pool properly or just retire it altogether. Everyone sucks here. I'm not sure why they didn't just refill it. Did you offer to refill it? That seems like such an easy solution instead of all the adults making it weird and making the kids suffer. Okay, refilling it is not going to work here. They're going to have to take out all the water, clean up all the algae, all the green shit, refill it again, but also turn on the fucking filter. There was a filter on this pool. Why didn't they turn on the filter? Bottom line, the way the pool is now, I wouldn't let your kids swim in it. I wouldn't swim in it myself. And if your in-laws are going to be offended by that, then so be it. I mean, like the other person said, your children's health and safety should come first. Am I the asshole for telling my cousin that he needs to lower his standards? I feel like this is a silly post, but I would like some clarity. So I, 24 male, have always been pretty close with my cousin, 24 male, due to us being the same age. We were more like brothers. He's an average looking guy, not bad looking at all, but not a model by any means. You'll see why this comes into play. About 3 years ago, one of his best friends from his school kind of blew up as a musician. He's not a huge mainstream artist who sells out arenas, but he has his own fan base that allows him to tour all over the US and sell out amphitheaters. His fan base also has a lot of women, and a lot of them are very good looking. He also is in the fashion space, so he goes to events and parties that are also attended by models. I say all of this because my cousin, being one of his best friends, was on his entourage for those 3 years. During this time, my cousin was able to live like a rock star alongside his friend, which meant lots of casual flings and attractive fans, and even some models. He even once invited me out to a show he was doing in Miami, and afterwards we went to a party and I was able to witness firsthand how being in an entourage of a popular musician helped him reap benefits. Fast forward to March, he decided that he was going to leave the entourage life because he needed to start his own life. He had no desire to be in the celebrity world and realized that he just needed to gain work experience and start a career. He did online schooling and got his degree while on the road with his friend. Of course, me and him took back up like he never left. This leads to the main point of the post. Since he's been back, we've been to parties, clubs, concerts, etc. At these events, there would be women who found him attractive and tried to talk to him. These women were average good looking, meaning they were your everyday good looking woman, not some model or very beautiful looking woman that you would see all over a musician and his team. He would reject these women politely. Of course, me and the others around would be like, dude, why didn't you go for her? And he would respond that she wasn't good looking enough. Then he would set his eyes on the hottest woman at the event. He tried to talk to her and got rejected. This would happen multiple times over the next few months and he always seemed shocked. This past weekend I was with him and he told me he decided to make Tinder and Hinge profiles. He even showed me his profile and started showing me the women that liked him. He paid for the feature that allows him to see who liked him even if he didn't like them back. He was disappointed because he didn't think the women were hot enough and that the 10 out of 10 women he did never liked him back. It was at this point that I had decided that enough was enough and I had to tell him the truth. I told him that he needed to lower his standards. He looked confused and I told him that the reason he got to sleep with those models and very attractive women were because he was on the entourage of a popular musician. That many of those women were okay with sleeping with someone on his team if they couldn't get to him. I told him there was nothing wrong with that, it was fun for you both, but now that you're back home and not riding the coattails of a popular artist, he's most likely not going to get the same caliber of women that he did when he was in the entourage. This led to an argument and he ended up going home and hasn't spoken to me since. I texted him and called him, but he's ignoring me. Part of me thinks that I'm right, but the other part of me feels like maybe I was too harsh. I don't know. Am I the asshole? Well, I wouldn't call you an asshole for doing this, but like, you're just giving your friend like a reality check. The fact that he's like not in the celebrity light anymore, you know, according to his musician friend, and the fact that he thinks he can still get these women who are actually after his friend, not him. And it's not like he can't get women because, like you said in the story, women were coming up to him anyway because, you know, they found him attractive enough to, you know, go up and say hi. But the fact that he's rejecting them because they're not hot enough, they're not model type enough for him, then I think, yeah, you're so in the right for giving him a reality check. Like, hey, because you asked him too, like, why aren't you going after these women who come up to you? Like, what's wrong with you? And he told you straight out, they're not hot enough. So I don't see the issue with you giving him the reality check that he needs. Not the asshole. And if your cousin doesn't learn to appreciate something about women other than how they look, he is going to end up miserable whether or not he gets with a 10. Yep, exactly. And if he doesn't learn this now, like hopefully in the future it'll like click in his mind, because if he's gonna be only looking surface deep, then, you know, he's never gonna find happiness. Well, that's gonna go ahead and do it for this episode of Reddit, Am I the Asshole? If you guys enjoyed these stories, leave a like, leave a comment. Also, if you feel liking it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me, and I will see y'all in the next video. Later.